Good morning, Facebook. Welcome to another installment of Wellness Wednesday. This is the second one. And I hope that if you're here, you'll let me know you're here. And if you don't see this till afterwards, you'll hit hashtag replay in the comments. So Wellness Wednesday started last week. It's something that's been on my heart for a while. I just feel like wellness is such a great broad topic, and there's so many things that can be covered under it, and that we can all benefit from sharing information with each other. So, and I am on a continuous journey for wellness in a lot of different ways, mental, physical, and spiritual. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I can share about my experiences that may help you. And I'm looking forward to learning from you as well. A couple of disclaimers. Number one, I'm not a doctor, so anything I recommend, I'm either recommending from research or personal experience that I've done, and I'm more than likely going to advise to you, depending on what it is, that you do the research as well. But one of the ideas behind my Wellness Wednesday is that if there's something specific that you would like to cover, you can feel free to message me, and I'll do a little poking around and a little research myself because I love to learn new things. So, if you know me, you know who I am. If you are just stumbling on my page, my name is Donna. I am a recent retiree, and the reason for the air quotes is because I may be retired from my job of 21 years, but I am not retired from doing and learning things that will change my future, including a personal trainer certification, yoga instructor certification, and looking at grad school in about a year. So retired is a very loose term. It basically just means I'm not at the job that I was. I am also a mother, a girlfriend, a nana to a wonderful 6-year-old grandson, and I am an entrepreneur and an activewear fanatic. So let's get into it. So the cool thing about Wellness Wednesday, like I said, is that the topic we're going to cover today is yoga, and it's going to be brief. And guys, if you are watching or listening and you're like, oh Lord, yoga, I'm out, stick around. Just trust me. Or even if you don't stick around because you don't want anybody to see you watching, save the link and come back and look at it later, because yoga is not just for women anymore. Guess what? It never has been. So now my notes are on the computer this morning because it was something like 22 pages. So I have no problem being real with y'all. I can't remember all of this all the time. So I am using notes or prompts to help me to make sure that I cover what I want to cover. So here we go. Let's talk about yoga, because again, Wellness Wednesday means everything. Last week we talked about what's in your cup and hot lemon water as a morning part of your morning routine. Today I'm channeling Sheldon, but I do have a little bit of coffee, maybe with a little bit of something else in it. So what's in your cup this morning? We'll go with that. But today we're going to talk about yoga. The reason for the title of this live, No Pretzels Required, is because there are a lot of people that still think that to do yoga, they have to be flexible, which is kind of counterintuitive, because one of the huge benefits of yoga is that it creates and teaches flexibility. So I've got 16 benefits of yoga here from Healthline. Most of these I already knew. I'm not going to go through all 16 because we'll be here all morning and your time is valuable. But I'm going to hit the highlights, the headlights. And the fact is that yoga does improve flexibility. And for anybody, men or women, even kids, especially as we start getting up there in years, flexibility is really important, and the sooner you can establish that flexibility, the better it is for you. I had a friend that I used to work with. She's actually the one that introduced me to yoga. She was no bigger than a minute, maybe a little bit shorter than me, and weighed a lot less, and she actually had a totem fall on her. And had she not been doing yoga regularly, so had she not had the flexibility and the core strength, she absolutely believes that she would have been down and out and injured for weeks after that. And when I say totem, I mean decorative totem, heavy, the kind of totem you think of when you're thinking of totems, maybe not quite the, 6 foot whatever, but it was heavy and it was big, and she was trying to move it and it fell on her. And she truly believed that if it was not for her yoga practice, she would have been much more seriously injured than she was. While she was down on the floor, she remembered to start doing a few yoga poses that her body would allow. and she recovered much more quickly than she might have otherwise. For me, even though I don't do it as much as I should, I do know that regular yoga practice allows my body and especially my spine to adjust itself naturally on a regular basis. And that my boyfriend, when we were doing yoga more regularly, which we're not, and that's one of the reasons I'm talking about this, is I'm hoping to remind myself to do it more often. When he and I started doing yoga at least once a week, he climbs through attics, he's in pest control, he does a lot of things that require a strong core and good balance, and he's balancing on I call them rafters, but I think that's a northern term, trusses and stuff up in an attic. He found that regular yoga practice really helped him with that. I know another gentleman that I've known for years who was a little hot-tempered and very stressed out all the time. Quintessential redhead, if you will, with the redhead temper, the fiery Irish. And he actually started doing yoga. And when he told me he was doing yoga, I was as shocked as anybody else that he would actually try it. He had grown quite, I don't want to say addicted because that implies a negative stigma, but he had started doing yoga and really was seeing and understanding the benefits of it for stress relief, for loosening up his body. Yoga just has so many amazing benefits, and you don't have to be a pretzel to do it, because if you just start with some basic beginner stuff, you can become more flexible, and that is something that yoga will give you. Does it mean that you have to hang from scarves? Does it mean that you have to be able to do a headstand? Does it mean you have to look like Gumby? No, absolutely not. But yoga is a very good, it's not just stretching, it's strengthening while it stretches. It's controlled breathing, which helps you with stress. Good morning, sorry, morning allergy stuff. So it really is for everybody. And the sooner you get started and the sooner you get your body a little bit more flexible and a little bit stronger, the sooner you're going to see the benefits of it. So number one, yoga improves flexibility. Yoga is great with stress relief. This comes straight from the American Psychological Association. One of the reasons is because yoga forces you to slow down, not to multitask. And it helps you with the proper breathing that eventually, as you become used to it, is going to kick in stressful situations automatically. But it takes some time and it takes some practice. So because of that, obviously, yoga has the potential to improve your mental health, because if you are learning breathing, proper breathing, which helps in a stressful situation, then it is also likely to help you, if you have anxiety. I'm recovering anxiety, depression. Yoga really helps to settle me down, especially when I'm struggling to do just one thing at a time. That breathing, that slowing down, that strengthening, that restoration of my muscles, also forces my brain to kind of slow down. It's almost like more of an active meditation for me. There's some other things in here about yoga reducing inflammation, like we talked about anxiety, immunity. I'm not going to go there because sometimes the powers that be, if you will, like Facebook, they don't really like that. But the truth of the matter is that if you improve your physical wellness and your mental wellness, a lot of these other things come along with it. So I encourage you to do the research. And if you have questions, I'm happy to share with you some of my information. Just send me a message or comment on this live. And again, if you're in here, if you're saying hi, leave the comment. Facebook isn't showing me anybody, but if you say hi, it might. And if I don't see it, I will answer questions or respond to your comments afterwards. Balance. Balance is a really important part. Flexibility, balance. Athletes are recommended to do yoga. Elderly people, and I'm going to be careful with that because, in another year-ish, I'm going to be 50. And that means that my daughter probably already thinks I'm old, and I know my grandson thinks I'm in my 90s. So that's a story for another day. Flexibility and balance are two crucial things as you age to keep you healthy and well and injury-free. Is it a guarantee? No. But are you less likely to get injured and less likely to have serious injury when you do, if you've got that flexibility and strength and balance? Yes, and yoga can help with balance. Dancers are recommended recommended to take yoga. Athletes are recommended to take yoga. Um, Yoga can help you, if you're doing a consistent practice, to have better balance, and that's just good for everybody, let's face it. Yoga may also help improve sleep. And if you're doing a restorative slow, not a flow yoga is designed to get blood moving and get you moving in the morning. But if you're doing a restorative yoga before bed, that will actually help you to relax and fall asleep. And of course, they talk about self-esteem. That's another thing. And again, I just maintain that if you are doing the other things, if you're becoming stronger and more flexible, and learning to breathe better and slow down, then all of these things improve self-esteem. The better your body moves, at least for me, the better my body moves, the better my self-esteem is, because I don't feel incapable, and I hate to feel incapable. Yoga may improve bone health. There's a lot of poses like plank that science says everybody should be doing every day, even if they're not doing yoga as a full practice. But body weight and body resistance exercises have always been touted to improve bone strength, and as we age, that's extremely important too. Can yoga promote better posture and body awareness? Absolutely. Because when I'm doing yoga regularly, I know that I feel stronger. I stand up straighter. I don't have my shoulders up to my ears all the time. So it's really important. And then again, with brain functioning, burnout, things like that, some of these items on the list from healthline.com, again, those all go back to forcing yourself to slow down, take a little me time, improve your strength, improve your balance, your flexibility, learn how to breathe properly as you stretch and as you strengthen. They are going to bleed over into all areas of life. And in my opinion, there is nothing that can't come out of that that's good. You know what I mean? I didn't say that right. There's nothing good that can't come out of that, if that makes sense. So yoga, like I said, you don't have to be a female. You don't have to be a pretzel. Yoga is absolutely something worth adding to your life. Once a week, 30 minutes, once a week. And you'll start, if you do that consistently for a month, you will start seeing changes in yourself, and you will be motivated to do it more often. I know that every time that I have gone a long period of time without doing yoga, when I do finally do it, I see improvement almost immediately. I'm very in tune with my body, so I can feel blood moving to places that maybe it wasn't before. And I didn't realize it wasn't, but now that blood's moving there, I'm like, oh. So doing that stretching, doing that strengthening, it's amazing. Now I am going to touch on one other issue that I've heard a lot about, seen a lot about. I am very much a woman of faith. I won't say religion because that's dicey, but I'm very much a woman of faith. And there are people that think that yoga and God don't go together. And I completely disagree. Although yoga is essentially, I believe, a Buddhist practice originally. And yes, if I'm in a yoga class or a guided yoga meditation, sometimes they talk about focusing on your third eye, which some people believe is your mind's eye. It's not an actual eye there. It's a figurative eye. But because of those references, a lot of people think that it's evil to do yoga. In my opinion, anything that has this much benefit for your body that doesn't actually hurt somebody else in any way, shape, or form cannot be against God. Number two, if you're not comfortable with those third eye references or anything like that, then replace that in your mind while you're doing those guided yogas practices or while you're in class with focusing on God or picturing God. It's going to give you, the point is to give you a focal point. So if you're struggling to reconcile yoga and faith, use God as that focal point. You are the one that's in control during that yoga practice, okay? So don't be afraid if you are a person of faith to try yoga because somebody somewhere along the line said, oh, no, that's evil. I totally disagree with that. Like I said, yoga is an amazing practice that does incredible things for your body. And when I'm doing yoga regularly, I feel more in line with myself and the body that God gave me. And I feel that it opens up a way for me to be more communicative with God, not less. So that's just my opinion. Everybody's different. But I absolutely, if you are interested in trying yoga, pretty much anybody that's got a smartphone, a smart TV, anything like that. There are so many free yoga routines on YouTube. But if you're not sure where to start, especially if you're a beginner, I'm pretty picky and I look at yoga routines before I do them. Most of the time when I do yoga, I do it at home in my living room on the TV using streaming from YouTube. And I will send you some beginner routines. If you message me or comment below, I will give you some beginner routines that I use that are free on YouTube, that I know should be relatively safe and attainable for just about anybody. If you want to do your own poking around, Yoga with Adriene is fantastic. And Adriene's a little kooky. So if you like that personality, that's a great choice. Erin from 5 Parks Yoga is very, very good, but I will tell you that even her beginner stuff can be a tiny bit challenging. So if you have done yoga in the past and you're very familiar with the poses, but you just haven't been to a class in a while and you're looking for a place to start now, check out Erin, start with her more beginner type stuff. But she is definitely, most of her stuff I find to be more of a moderate and up for yoga, but she's fantastic. Now, guys, you may not want to do the woman thing. I get it. There is, I'm trying to remember the name of it right now. I should have looked it up before I got on. I had found one yoga routine for run recovery that is done by a man. He's a little awkward in the beginning, but the routine is solid and it's very, very, very good. It is maybe not beginner, but a beginner can do it with modifications. And I know that he has other videos. I've just not really ever dug into them. But I believe it's called Man Flow Yoga. I can drop a couple of links in the comments of this when I'm done. And then if you want more information, just shoot me a message or comment below. And I will hook you up with yoga videos that I use regularly that'll help get you started. Now, if you are a true beginner and you just don't know anything about the poses or anything, I do recommend that you find a local class wherever you're watching from. I do recommend that you poke around and find out if your local extension office or your local technical college is doing any yoga classes for consumers, or if there's anybody in the area, post it on your Facebook. Ask the question if there's anybody in your area that's got a yoga studio or is that doing yoga on the lake, in the park. If you start poking around and looking for it, you're probably going to notice it more, where it may have been on your Facebook page all along and you just didn't pay any attention to it because in your mind you were like, no, yoga is not for me. I promise you yoga is for just about everybody. So if you're not sure, send me a message. If you're local here in Citrus County, I can probably point you toward a couple structured classes to get you started. If you are, like I said, if you've done yoga before or you feel like you can do a basic beginner routine, there's some great ones out there on YouTube that will give you instructional information on the poses and everything. And you don't have to be Gumby, you don't have to be a pretzel, but you never know. You may end up loving yoga enough to become one. I'm still not a pretzel, so just saying. In any case, that is today's topic, is yoga. I definitely encourage you to do your own research if you think this is something that sounds interesting, or reach out to me by messenger or in the comments. Like I said, I'll send you videos. I'll send you the link for what I read from today. There's lots and lots of links out there that talk about the benefits of yoga. And like I said, you got to kind of take everything you read on the internet with kind of a grain of salt. But I can tell you from personal experience that most of what I read off to you today, I have definitely experienced with yoga. And I absolutely think that your life will be improved by adding this to your weekly routine or daily if you're really feeling up to it. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed today's edition of Wellness Wednesday. I did not see anybody pop up, so if you've been watching, I apologize. I will definitely respond to any questions you may have had later when I get done here. And if you need any more information, you can feel free to message me. If you have a topic you want me to kind of poke around into and bring up at a future Wellness Wednesday, message me that, comment below, whatever. Just remember, no negativity, no politics. That's my rule. And I hope you found this helpful. If you found this helpful, comment, love it, share it. And I'll see you next Wednesday. If I get a topic from somebody that I think I can handle, then I will cover it. Otherwise, I'll come up with my own. But I hope you all have a fabulous day and a fabulous rest of your week. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 7-ish. Thanks. Bye-bye.